want a man that provides and takes care of all of my bills and is going to make sure that I don't have to lift a
Are
finger.
you a child?
My dog, darling.
Welcome back to the channel. I was over at the 8 at the Table channel, and they had this guy on there who was having a conversation with a few of the women. I don't know where they found him from, never heard of him, but all I know was they didn't have anything for all of the talking points that he brought forth in the conversation. And to make a long story short, a couple of hyenas got cooked. Let's not waste one moment.
Frustrating, right? Because we believe in y'all, right? And we invest and we hope that we have this thing, like men have like the Superman complex. Some call it Captain Save-A-Ho complex, right? Where we think that, no, I'm going to teach her. I'm going to lead her. She's been through this. She's had the wrong guys and she's going to grow with me, right? And she's going to begin to understand how much I love her. A lot of women have fear of abandonment. A lot of women can't accept your love and you try. No,
because
look.
a lot of guys act like the good guy. It sounds so good. The exact person you are right now, imagine I got robbed from a guy that was saying the same
I get it.
So what are you going to say?
I get it, but I'm not the guy that robbed you.
I don't want to hear that shit.
But I'm not the guy that robbed you.
Yeah, but guess what? It's still a level that
I'm still not the guy that robbed you.
Right.
So at the end of the day, why do I keep paying for the ghosts of your past? That's the thing.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now for you to sit with the person for 5 years, that's showing you that would be an issue.
And I'm not saying, and once again, we don't go into it this way. Okay, we go into it, all right.
Madly in love.
No, it's not even madly in love. We identify, okay, she has traumas. We have conversations, you know, God willing, our conversations are about more than sex, right? And we speak about your childhood. We speak about your upbringing. We speak about whether you had one parent, both parents. So to a degree, I get an understanding, oh, okay, this is where it's coming from. I put in a year, I put in 2 years, I put in 3 years, I put in 4 years. And it's in his own competency. Am I even worth leading? Now it starts to affect him. And sometimes he leaves, not because he wants to, but because if he doesn't, you're going to destroy him.
Yeah, your inadequacies affect his identity.
Yes.
So
because he sees himself through your eyes. If my woman sees me as nothing, then how can I be anything? That's the part y'all don't understand.
I'm about to say, Jada eating it up over there.
That was so good.
No, I'm just saying that's the look, man.
I feel like I'm just starting to get to know a species.
If this would happen while you were,
You would have thought, hearing this portion of the conversation, that maybe he was starting to get through to these women. We were going to see a conversation like we've never seen, where maybe we see a woman change her mind and start to go towards the direction of logic. But I was wrong. Let's go ahead and get back into the clip.
that's a complete different mind fuck. Like if you're in your past 35 and you're in your 40s and this is happening, and you've already created this identity for yourself, you already know who you are, you already done the work. That's devastating.
Yeah.
Is that your story?
That's literally the story. That's it. Clean up. My story?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying we're older men. So imagine going through our battles that we know personally as men on a daily basis, and we get to a point where we're tired of our own shit, and then we go fix our shit. And now we say, okay, I fixed a lot of my shit, but the stuff I haven't fixed, I'm still willing to work on. I'm willing to work on it with you while also taking on your stuff. And then you say, wake up one day and be like, oh, I don't want this.
And then after you go deal with a man that's worse than me, Cardi B.
That man the truth. Gotta have a little swag like that.
I don't know why they're acting shocked. This is exactly what a lot of black men are dealing with, especially the legitimate men who aren't criminals, who have good careers. We're seeing our men run off with these kind of men.
Ordinary for shit.
Cardi
was
B.
a joke.
So I was gonna say, I didn't know if you really
That's
thought
her
that.
own decision.
Whose own decision?
If she,
Are you talking about Cardi B? We're talking about.
no, I'm not talking about Cardi B.
I said Cardi B because I knew it would set y'all off.
I would speak to what he was saying before, like you don't know what you want.
This was a comment that a woman left, right, under one of my posts. It's about standards. She said a standard is supposed to be a non-negotiable value that applies regardless of who's in front of you. When expectations shift based on attraction, status, or emotional attachment, those aren't standards anymore. They're preferences with exceptions. The problem isn't that women have standards. It's that when those standards disappear for certain men, it creates confusion and mixed messaging. Consistency is what gives standards credibility. Without it, you're not standing on principles, you're reacting to desire. So this is what I'm saying.
Come up with these things.
How
That was perfect.
because it's the truth.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, because you're so,
She's like, where do you come up with these things? I don't know, thinking. Men don't have to be on the high spectrum of intellect to come to reasonable conclusions because men have to live in a world that doesn't allow us to be as delusional as women. Let's get back another clip.
So strong on an expectation for this man, and he gave you more than you asked for, then you leave him to go deal with a man that gives you less.
Can I say this?
It is mind-blowing.
Can I say this without everyone's gonna get so mad at me?
No, we
But
won't.
I think that
This is a safe space.
or everyone's gonna think I'm dumb. Whatever, I don't care. I think this goes back to the community for men. I
have
think as
one.
though, I feel as though there's not enough. For example, I feel like men are not held accountable for a lot of things. I feel like men don't have enough people like in their community, in their circles,
beg your pardon?
because again, like you have broken men creating broken women, and then now they're with other, they're starting new relationships, and that's an
families.
issue. And it's like, creating broken families. I think that there needs to be a reset within men. Honestly,
I will agree with you,
because-
but that's on both sides of the fence.
And all these podcasts that they hate and that they're talking about and that they say that they don't want to date a man, if you're listening to this kind of podcast, or if you're listening to Dating and Relationship podcast, or if you're listening to Kevin Samuels' podcast, all those podcasts are men coming together and trying to fix their issues and discuss their problems that they're dealing with women in relationships.
woman, do I have these trust issues because it came from maybe my father? It probably came from my past.
And your father was raised by a mother.
Right.
He wasn't raised by his father?
And why was his father not there? Let's talk about that though. We talk about what?
Or maybe she didn't pick a father at all. A lot of us, our dads weren't even fathers at all. Some men literally never had any intention on being a dad. The woman knew that, and she had a kid with that man. That doesn't make him a deadbeat father. That means a woman had a child with a man who didn't want to be a father. Two different things.
You wouldn't know the difference.
We're gonna say that.
No,
and
because-
I don't never get
and
to
I'm
finish my
not-
point.
Assumption,
Let me just say my point, because you hear these other statistics like, all of these men, 80% of men that are incarcerated were raised in single mother homes. Well, where were the fathers? And why were these men creating these crimes? And even if you weren't with the mother, why weren't you present in your child's life? Why couldn't you be the person that could talk sense into your son? So while we're always trying to say, the single mother this, the single mother that, what is it? Is it that our men are the weakest? Because
No,
what
let
is
me go a step further for you, right? I'll be vulnerable and reveal a little bit about my past. So my father lived on the first floor of my building and I lived on the second floor. Never knew that was my dad. Found out when I was 14 that was my father.
So whose fault is that? I want to know that.
Let
first.
me finish.
No, first I want to know
No.
that.
Wait,
Let me
need
finish.
all the facts of the story.
Let me finish, right? Probably about a week later, he saw me in the lobby. He said, "So you know?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay." And it was, right back to business, right? Never really said anything to me after that. Now, as I grew and I became a man and I matured and I had children, you know what it taught me? I didn't have resentment towards my dad. What it made me realize is, damn, I wonder what my dad went through in his life. Let me finish. That didn't allow him to be the type of man that could show me love and raise me, right? This is what y'all forget about. Men are human. Y'all have this thing. No, because when y'all have the, and I see it all the time. When a woman kills a man, oh my God, what he put her through, right? Like, y'all have so much sensitivity and empathy for the fact that women are human and they go through things and they have traumas, but that's totally absent when it comes to men. I'm sorry, yes, there are fathers that left home because they're deadbeats. There are fathers who had trauma, who it didn't begin with them. And there are fathers who were alienated. But I hate this narrative that every time it's a negative thing about a man, we think to the worst. Men are human.
No, I said we need community for men because this is an issue that doesn't stop and the numbers are high.
Yes.
Can't open your eyes. Can't you see?
But she's like, we need a community of men. And all of these brand new podcasts that exist where men are the center of it, they just completely ignore. This speaks to how willfully blind Western women are when it comes to men. That she's literally screaming and shouting for something that certainly exists and exists more than it's ever existed.
I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
But just as much as men are the reason, women are too, because a lot of fathers are alienated out of the home. You are looking at a man who was alienated from his child's life for God knows how long, and I fought for it. You understand what I mean? So what I'm telling you is we are both at fault. And as long as we keep pointing fingers, I don't think anything's going to be solved. I think what we need to do...
Not what she's saying,
I didn't
though.
say that at all.
Wait, just hear what I'm saying. I think what we need to do is men need to focus on improving themselves.
Yes.
Women need to focus on improving them. The community of men needs to focus on making their brother better, and the community of women needs to focus on making their sister better, right? Because that's not what occurs, right? When the conversation occurs, it's this. It's the girl, yes, you chose yourself, right? No, but it's, but girl, how could you have been a better woman? How could you have handled this better?
Conversations as well, and we do.
We literally just
and we
said
literally
that.
are raising these men on a lot of
where,
times.
I literally just
without
said-
present fathers.
Yeah, but-
do you know what strength that takes?
No, and
it takes
And I did
community.
say I commend you. I commend you because, and let me tell you the sad thing. When I heard you say that, you know what? I thought that you are the exception, because that is not the majority. That's the reality, and you know that.
That's why I high five.
And you know that.
But I mean, I still feel as though with everything that I've gone through and everything that the choices that I've made, I feel as though there still is a lack of men being held accountable for certain things. And I wish that men were working together more to hold their brothers accountable.
All men
I know
are
you're
is held
saying that-
accountable. All men are is held accountable.
Women are out here having babies with men who they know didn't want to be a father, or they didn't investigate his desire to be a father on any real level. And even though it was a mutual exchange, the man is the only person who's certainly going to be accountable for the baby. If the baby lives, he's the only person who's going to be chased around with paperwork and forced into the situation. If the woman were to decide that she doesn't want to be a mother, she can terminate the whole situation. And the man has no say-so in whichever direction she goes. So, I don't know. If that puts anything into perspective of how fair all this is, I hope that helps.
All men are is held accountable.
Again, the clip said the women came over as a community. They helped their pack. But in the very, very beginning, the man said, hey, I spoke to him. And I said, you are just experiencing cold feet. You made a choice to be with this woman. That was him holding him accountable. And you saw that. That was his,
Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm sorry.
the man.
The guy that was in the corner of the video.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was rolling my eyes. I was probably like,
There was something in your eye at the
yeah, I
time.
was just like, what? I didn't want to hear it. So maybe
So
that's my
Because it
fault.
wor-
I'm saying that was him holding
'Cause it
him
was in the-
accountable right in
was
front
it-
of you. Like right in
Okay.
front of you.
But the thing is that, and I think you and I, we had like a conversation about this. The point that Jada is trying to make is that as a general matter, men do not have commune with each other, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Then we wouldn't have the numbers and the issues that we have in our community, which goes back to now us women being the issue because
Wait.
we're so annoyed and aggravated. We're bringing our trauma to the next man every time.
You may mean the right commune,
Yes.
but we do have
That I can agree. Maybe
Okay,
not the right
So the
kind.
thing is that we're talking this both sexes shit. So what I'm saying is comparable to what I'm applying to men. So like I said, men are not in commune. You might know your home. Do you know your homeboys' kids' ages?
Yes. I can agree that men don't have enough. They're not surrounded.
Women have no idea how much men have been having conversations in barbershops, the YMCA, wherever we're playing basketball, anything like that, for years. They just don't care. But lately, we've taken those conversations and we're putting them online, and they're now available anywhere where any woman can hear it. Men are being more honest and forthcoming about how they feel about relationships than they've ever been. And women are acting like guys aren't gathering, having conversations about dating and relationships.
By enough positive influences.
Yes.
That I can agree because and
I'm
that
not, but
we
I'm
can
not
say.
saying just hanging out, going playing basketball, doing whatever. I'm saying like,
When I
Like,
go
no-
to my church, I visit churches all the time. And just even in general, I'm not saying people have to go to church, but I'm saying people have to seek like, like everything that you should know about life. I personally feel as though is in the Bible.
Well-
but when I go to church, I don't see as many men seeking those things. No, I'm just,
Because men-
you guys are taking it too deep. I'm not
No, I
saying you
don't.
have to
I'm
believe in
not.
Jesus Christ and that. I'm saying just knowing, there's Proverbs, just knowing how to be a good person to others, just knowing how to be a person that gives, that takes care of children, that takes care of the elderly, that doesn't lie, that doesn't steal. Those things are in the Bible.
Men-
I'm not saying just out of a religious aspect. I'm saying go back to learning how to be a better person, and it starts probably in the church for some people.
Men do hold church.
Oh God, when women have poor talking points and they don't have anything intellectual to offer the conversation, here comes the selective Christianity. This shit is getting old, it's tired, it's dated, it's not helping anybody, it's making the conversation stale. Let's get back into the clip.
Only women are at.
Men do hold church amongst themselves, right? Every man has maybe a small circle of friends that they speak to every morning, right? Like it might be one or two friends that 3 or 4 times out the week that they speak to. Now the question is, what are they talking about?
exactly.
That is the question. And I would agree that men don't have enough men who are speaking things of substance, right? Who are positive influences in their life. Do men commune? Definitely. But they commune about maybe because, you know what I mean?
And if we're getting down to the bottom of everything, this lady wants to talk about, she wants to go backwards so much, she wants to get all sciencey about all of this. If we're talking about why men are misguided and we're talking about why they don't have leaders in their communities and why they don't have male role models helping them and giving them game, it's because the black women of the last 30 years haven't known how to pick men so the kids don't have daddies.
Definitely do commune.
So I'm not saying men don't hang out, which I guess
No, it's
which
not
is
even
really,
hang out.
No, what I'm saying is like commune again. We're talking about parallel things. If we're gonna say, oh, it's men and women's fault, fine. But if we're gonna say commune the same way as far as women commune, men should be doing the same thing.
We do.
No, we're not. We're not just hanging out.
No, I'm not talking about hang out. I'm not talking about hang out. What I'm saying is like we have to be, if we're trying to resolve an issue, we have to be specific, right? Because people jump on the defensive. When you go, men don't commune, they're going to go, but we do get together. No, so you have to say, I understand that you do commune, but what are you guys talking about, right? Are you guys talking about things that are going to, that are focused on your betterment? Are you guys just focused on financial growth, or are you focused on emotional and spiritual growth? Do you guys speak about things like that? Because I can tell you, I have friends that I'm surrounded by that I speak to 3 or 4 times a week, right? When we speak in the morning,
You're also a good man that
no,
you went through everything that you went through. You persevered through it. You did the work. What we're saying is there's a lot of men that are out there alone that don't know where to go. They don't have the community. They don't have a man like you to say, oh, I'm about to go into the hood today and go preach to, not preach, but go speak to the generation that are leaning out off of drugs.
Because I have a friend.
What are y'all talking about? When men tried to listen to Kevin Samuels and tried to follow his lead, y'all said, what, y'all ain't got no daddy? Kevin Samuels your daddy? This your leader? Every time men try to follow behind a particular male figure, it's always met with harsh ridicule from women. And they usually use that particular guy as the symbol for their disdain with men in general. Let's get back into the clip.
Mine, he's married, right? He's married. He has 2 kids. And he tells me, he said, I know you hate when I say this. He said, but bro, you're the reason I'm married. He said, the man that I was before, I would have never entertained this. He said, but you're the one that made me understand that infidelity made me weak. It didn't make me strong. I was surrounded by people who made me feel that the more women I slept with defined me as more of a man, right? But I used to tell him, but bruh, if you have a woman, then you're good. It doesn't make sense. You understand? You made a commitment. If that's the case, then be brave enough to be transparent and tell her that this is what you want to do. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to lose her. I'm like, okay, then if you don't want to lose her, protect what you value. And once again, men commune, but what are they talking about when they commune? That's the thing, right?
And when are they talking about it? Are we talking about it at the very end, like once we've already committed the sin? Or are we talking about it in the beginning to prevent the sin?
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's a story on that too, guys.
You're right.
Samson.
End of the day,
This is still where a daddy would come into play, a father. And we don't have fathers because in the last 30 to 40 years, fathers haven't been being picked in the mating process in the black community. Pookies have been being picked. That's why it's been written into so many movies that black boys don't have dads. Think about it. In all of our movies, Baby Boy, Boys in the Hood, all the movies that we love thinking about growing up, nobody has a dad. That means this has been an issue for a while. There's something that you guys have to understand about all of this. During all those time periods in the black community, there were good men sitting right there, and they picked who they picked. They had babies with who they had babies with, and now there are no men to lead the young men, and everybody else talking about where the father's at.
And sleep with someone that he probably shouldn't be sleeping with. It's kind of like, are they speaking up, or are they just like, oh, whatever, like,
what would y'all say most men do?
Most men are just gonna let it rock. Or if you're around someone,
what would y'all say most men do?
If you're around someone and they know that you don't cheat on your wife, or they know that you are a person that has stand-up character,
they ain't gonna do it around
you. They're gonna be on their best behavior. And so that's what's not happening in our.
You know why that's not necessarily the case? Because unfortunately, society is preaching something different, and the man who is faithful, the man is looked at as a weirdo. No, listen, and I'm being totally honest with you. I'm being totally honest with you. And at the end of the day, he's fighting the current. he's fighting the current, and he's still out there like, yo, bro, like, what are you guys doing? But he's drowned out by a sea of, yo, look at this dude.
No.
He out here.
Where do you women think all of your dates went and all the chivalry that you're saying you missed? It went with all of that embarrassment that comes along with being the guy who's available, the guy who is actually trying hard. So men aren't doing it as much.
What I'm also telling you is the problem is society as a whole, right? We've created this narrative, right? Oh, whore shaming. Everybody has the right to do as they please, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, bro, why you minding my business?
Do you get into that?
Yeah, and this is what we've created. We've created a society where every and anything is okay. This is what we've created.
It's true. It is true.
This is what we've created, and we have to take accountability and be responsible for the fact that we've created a very self-centered society. Just like she said, I did what was best for me. And guess what that man's going to tell you? Bro, I'm doing what's best for me. And there's no rebuttal to that, because this is what society has taught us is what it's supposed to be. So the truth is, the same people you want to go into the fight is the same people you've disarmed. I think it's a man's nature to want multiple women to a degree, but I will also, I think it's a boy's nature, right? Because the truth is, look, human beings evolve. Just because that's what it was 1,000.
I think what men are afraid to say is that we're biologically wired to do whatever we want to do sexually, and there's nothing we can do about it. And that there's certain aspects of our sexuality that are just simply out of our control, and women have more of a discernment filter built into their sexuality that is better than ours. And history shows that basically most men who even try to play like their nature is anything else, we all end up discovering that his nature is the same as the rest of the men in society. But maybe he's going somewhere better with it. Let's get back into the clip.
Necessarily what it needs to be now, right? There's evolution. And at the end of the day, I always say a king with no discipline is a weak man with luxuries. A man without discipline.
For the Church of Jesus
generation. Mm-hmm. So the way you perceive the world is
I can agree to that.
Totally different. So like somebody in her generation, a dude would be like, "But we going
at dinner. You got."
But guess what?
You do. Okay, well, if he's looking at it from a productivity standpoint, when it comes to like men being monogamous and whatever, maybe I slightly agree, because I know I can feel in my body personally that I'm not a monogamous man, but I somewhat prefer a monogamous relationship because it's cleaner, and I feel I'm a more productive man when I'm less divided. It isn't even about the other woman. It's all about my bread and about my productivity level, my lifestyle. So even if I make that choice from that place, it still isn't even about the woman. You know, guys who even choose to not be polygamous and have women everywhere is usually out of necessity, or that's just the only option that they have.
You do realize that this is a result of feminism and women's independence. So y'all got what y'all asked for.
Who is we?
Y'all got what y'all asked for. Wait.
What's your definition of feminism?
White women?
Wait. Let me tell you something. Chivalry existed. Men paid for all the bills, and men paid for dinner. Do you know why? Because women couldn't work. Y'all asked for independence.
Who is y'all? Black women was always working.
Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Black women was always working. So don't keep doing.
And you guys are comparing us to those men, and I'm not gonna have it. Those men rent was $300. I don't care about the change in inflation or anything of that. Like, you could work and you could be the milkman, and that could be your only job, and you could pay your bills. You ladies need to stop trying to compare us to these men, please.
To us, y'all always saying y'all asked
in the home. Y'all didn't have jobs that y'all didn't have jobs that y'all were paid for.
What?
Being at home is worse. These kids is crazy.
Okay. Now we're moving the goal. Let's listen. Let's. So y'all asked for independence. Y'all asked for equal pay. Now y'all got equal.
Ask for independence.
Wait.
That's not what feminism is.
Wait. Y'all got equal pay, but y'all still want men to carry the brunt of the work.
We don't have equal pay.
So which one is it?
We don't have equal pay.
Which one? I'm just asking. Which one?
You're saying factually, like.
Here we go with the wage gap lie. You guys are paid equally. You just don't work the same jobs as us, so we make more. That doesn't mean you're not paid equally.
What we're doing right now is playing semantics.
No, listen. No. We're not playing semantics, because at the end of the day, women I think it's a something Ledbetter case. It was some law. It came into play, whatever, during Obama's time. Obama was recently a president, right? Mm-hmm. That's my generation. It ain't my mama, it ain't my granny, it ain't right. And women still are not paid equally. So really, I want you to understand that's not what feminism is. Feminism is about having equal opportunity, just like black people wanting equal opportunity.
That's what feminism was, but what has it turned to? What has it become?
But do you
know
that's why?
It's not,
But do we ever talk about
y'all can't have y'all. Listen, what I'm saying is y'all can't have y'all cake and eat it too.
Okay.
Y'all want men. Y'all want men to be traditional while y'all are no longer required to be traditional. I'm sorry.
And I don't think that's right.
Yes, it does not work that way. That's what feminism is. Men continue to pay the bills. Men continue to pay for
and
dinner.
be shitty individuals.
But yeah, listen,
and be shitty individuals.
You know what feminism is? Let's remove the responsibility.
You don't get to allow a man to pay your bills, exist under his leadership and provision, and then say he's a shitty individual. Because if he's a shitty individual, you didn't have to let him pay your bills.
Off of women's backs, but leave the responsibility on men's. That's what it is.
That's your perspective, and I have to respect it.
That is
I'm
my
not
perspective.
A man.
Yeah, you don't have to agree.
I'm not a man, so I don't know how it
guys. Words have meanings.
Yes, they do.
We can't just say that feminism is whatever you're saying or whatever you're saying.
Right.
There is an actual definition of feminism. And Marie is going to tell us in a second. But at the end of the day,
she said, I am.
Feminism
are just words.
Okay. Oh, words are just words.
Words are just words to a degree because guess what? Men these days are women.
That's what we're trying
What's
to tell
the difference?
you. So
But they're not women.
All my life.
So what? Words are words.
No, you just contradicted this because that's the problem that we're having. Traditional for who? We haven't had traditional for so long. These men are literally bickering with us about everything.
I'm not speaking traditional by societal standards.
You women also don't cook anything. You're trying to get men to care about things that the women of yesteryear didn't try to get their men to care about, like your money and your careers. You're not the same women. And men come to dates knowing that they have to pay, knowing that they have to protect the woman a little bit, baseline, right at the jump. Women are arguing with men about what they have to do right at the jump. There are some women saying you have to pay to talk to them.
Traditional by societal standards. I'm speaking traditional by the way God designed us. And this is what we need to understand. When I say traditional,
women
by the
are doing it all. I just want you to know that
women are doing it all.
They're doing it all. They're literally working, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, taking care of the bills, taking care of the cooking, taking care of this, taking care of that,
and working.
Comes home and he was like, wants his foot rubbed, and now he's upset.
And at what point do you hold yourself? And at what point? Wait. And at what point? And at what point do you hold yourself accountable for choosing that man?
That's the point I'm making too.
I don't understand.
But no,
wait a minute.
Upset because women are not choosing the man that they have to go 50-50 with. So when I say I want a man that takes care, no, I'm not saying you. We're not talking about you. I want to get a belt.
No, I'm just saying. But at what point?
Wait a minute now. Who got the belt?
But at what point do you hold yourself accountable? If you're saying women are doing this, okay, and hold yourself accountable for the fact that that's the man that you chose.
Let me show you right now.
You're right though.
I want you to read the comments right after I say this. I want a man that provides and takes care of all of my bills and is going to make sure that I don't have to lift a finger.
Are you a child?
What?
My dog, darling.
Exactly.
No, wait a minute.
No, you literally.
You twerk.
You literally just like proved your point.
Lord. Oh my God.
That ain't gonna be aired.
And that's the thing. You don't even realize you just proved my point.
I think
Yeah, men who are at the top of the food chain when it comes to value in the dating market tend to not want to date women who just randomly twerk on camera for reasons that don't even call for it, even though, of course, there isn't any good reason that'll call for it on a show like that. Man, my mom don't even know if you were even listening to that guy the whole time, but everything that he was saying is true. And you women are not the women of old. You women are a whole different breed of women. You guys are campaigning for the men who existed with a kind of woman who you didn't even see below her knee until you guys ended up intimate with each other. You women are nothing like this group of women. You deserve the Netflix and chill you get. Shouts out to 8 at the Table and whoever that is who cooked that panel. Hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you be notified every single time we post content just like this. I'll see you guys on the next one.